Right, that's like a sian como baby. I send any ray more than Mophidia to 24 radio. And some echoes or members say, Diabo, one way to need trending news no. And then you may synchronia of video say near to be as some more. And then some ya de brebono de Dimacotane ebi and say COVID-19 case, they say the total case net was 62,135. Now, unless if we are more bomb pempe, she say, woman, call. Tayari yi omanya bi no omo beto omo no de atodwa se Ghana fo nyina yemo homoden na ye ni hihye no so se ne be ya Ghana fo ye ho beto ye no omo nso enya ahomeje.
We are breaking our back, so please try as much as possible to do as you are told. Mask up, wash your hands. Observe the safety protocols. Help us to help you. You can see our staff strength here, not enough. You see, we have a challenge with the oxygen now, and most of us have to do it. I have done it in the morning and gone out.
Na woman so nim de efa jumasem ehho de abetodwa se lockdown a eba ye May num no 2020 mu no enuma egu ye 85,000.
There has to be a balance. That's what they say. At what point do we bring the balance? We bring on the balance. The issue is, to what extent is this pandemic going to affect people's lives? And as I have said several times, we need to protect lives first before livelihoods. Now, if many people are going to die, and we have this, then poverty means nothing because we will not even live to be able to poor. And so we need to look at the balance and see if the measures government is putting in place to curb the pandemic.
Ukopiem ewo wale nso a nka kwanhia asi amanipa be se edudie kanananai womo ahwere womo enkwa.
But I can't confirm that 4 or 5. We started removing and they taking them away. We inside the garden, they taken away. Some collapse. So we can't confirm that they collapsed or they died. But some died immediately here for me to see them.
And I'm traveling to Tamale. That's the northern region. I'm having a case at the court, so I'm supposed to be in the court around 10 a.m.
In some way, any afro pin and enumerate yes in Konya ewo fidiam asia ye de babe somo meeting de Edward Donko papa smiling akeka no mesiania and enumerate ye den sem no babe somo ewo efidie eso etwa no ho modernghana.com Zeno Radio sanso and a tune in www.aquantuforradio.com uko Facebook eye Aquantufor Radio sanso and Aquantufor TV hwehwe na fa comment like na fe share na for so ensa intimi enka YouTube Aquantufor TV. Once again meeting Edward Donko afei na nyuren sem no emu enchiremu enie Ghana COVID-19 go so a tretre se nya sem keto akra na sosi ai Krater damanim HSA Osha Ghana Health Service one website one medium they atudwa womo HM HSA case akwa kodru 62,135 na enipa efri mu no so 372 HSA nyasem keto akra na ena nurse for mugina ententen ebom pempe HSA Ghana ye ho beto yen ni edi yare no so nkunim de ato edwa echirim se omo besre Ghana fo nyina se womo ebedi yare no so nkunim se womo so womo breye papa a enye asem keto akra no ena omo echirim se womo nipa womo se womo yare no se koba ne se womo hwere womo enkwa ewo ayansam a ade se ha omo ye papa eno nti omo besre yen se yentrafie na afin so yen observe other protocols no se pia max no ye behye enye nonko social distancing ene de kekeka ho ni nyina ye bedi so na yare no yetimi edi so enkonim.
We are breaking our back, so please try as much as possible to do as you are told. Mask up, wash your hands. Observe the safety protocols. Help us to help you. You can see our staff strength here, not enough. You see, we have a challenge with the oxygen now, and most of us have to do it. I have done it in the morning and gone out. around 12. I have to come in again. You see, I'm panting. Even after I'm talking, you can see that I'm not really just moving about. So there's a lot to be done. And I don't know, the public is more. Some of them think that COVID is not real. We are exaggerating, but no, COVID is real. There's a lot of cases here. We don't know some of them. So it's better to be in the comfort of your home than being in an ICU. The long morning work for 12 continuous hours for 4 days. You take 3 days off, and you are called at any time to attend to an emergency. Being a critical illness, you are called at any time to attend to emergencies. And so, for us coming to work 12 hours, leave your family at home, and come and work, and sometimes when you come, you let the patient, then the next morning you come and the patient is no more there. It's like you've done a lot to save a life, but then the life is gone. So we are really going through a lot emotionally. We are breaking our backs. It's really affecting us a lot.
As well, we're running longer shift numbers we're seeing. And for my family, I understand it's been difficult. My wife, my kids. Unfortunately, I couldn't even take my kid to school when we were open because I've spent the past 2 weeks, I've practically been here every day. And for some of my colleagues, it's been the same story. We are pushed to the wall, but then we need to offer the services to our clients. So we're doing this for God, we're doing this for country and for our patients. It's been stressful. I have an appointment actually with my clinical psychologist. I should have had it yesterday. Hopefully I'll have it today because it's been stressful. She taught me here for a session. And it's important that the public know that COVID is real. A lot of people still do not believe there's COVID until it comes right to your doorstep. It affects a relative. But then, do not wait to that point when you unfortunately lose a family member. COVID is real. For corporate organizations who have been supporting us, yes, we need some PPs, but we also need some toiletries to support the patients. We see food items, etc. are all welcome. So if you have any support for the fight against COVID, you're always welcome. The infectious disease center is also open, and for both facilities, we're doing our best in the fight against COVID. Come and support us. Come on.
Nurse phone be and I know edin komo efa and some no said ye esitie ewo ehono. Na Dr. Titus Bayo Deputy General Secretary di Ghana Medical Association and radom de krata tenten by ebetu eja de betu jwa kire mu se womo esre Ghana for and titu aban se won fasobo ento mass gathering and social gathering eso se ne be ya COVID-19 na yebetimi anya ye ho twabre ansana ye esanso enen sorry ene afi social gatherings aka no etimi akọ enkan na say ena Dr. Bayo so ekire ne nsemo
But I can't confirm 4 or 5. We started removing on this COVID, they should review them quickly. Secondly, we also think that when there is a mass response, when I mean a mass response, if there are restrictions like we have suggested in our release, and people know they can no longer have their funerals the way they want to have them, they can no longer have their weddings the way they want to have them. People know there is one to live a lifestyle new normal. As it is now, with most of these restrictions lifted, people are of the impression that COVID is not there, and it's difficult reconciling the communication. So we think that if some of these restrictions are reimposed, then people will realize that yes, this is what we are dealing with. And then the enforcement, we should see people being turned away from the city centers, being stopped on the road and need to go back home when they are not in their masks, or where punitive measures can be applied. That is the only way we can save our Ghana health service. We need to save our health system. We cannot overwhelm the system and collapse it. Then we will have nothing to fall on. So everybody must play a role in helping us, and this means enforcement of the law. Face masks that were 35 cities, 25 cities just a week ago, with the second rise in the COVID, are already going up to 15 cities per pack, which is not real. If we are encouraging people to use this PPE, then we encourage those to bring them in. Nothing has really changed. They should not change their prices. Increase in demand should not just mean an increase in price. And we also say a lot of health workers are getting infected. At our last count, over 350 doctors have been infected since the beginning of this COVID. And that means that we should have adequate supplies of PPEs for doctors and other healthcare workers to use in the line of their duty.
Yeah, Dr. Titus Bayo, one and our Deputy General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association. Now, Kojo upon Kroma da one Ministry of Health Asia, no more a day and some say call upon some for no, or the two just say a buying consider possible lockdown. Na say ye no can sign seminar. Ye papa so na the entire yebo eneno yachim de amamo.
Of 2020, if you recall, was a precautionary lockdown to give us an opportunity to study the dynamics of the virus. You recall, it had nothing to do with the number of cases at the time, and we made that point over and over again. Because if it was about the number of cases, then of course there will be a strong argument to make that then when the cases go up, then you have to lock down some more. That lockdown was a precautionary lockdown to enable us to understand the dynamics of the virus and therefore see how we would respond to it. That's how come we knew our positivity rate, our baseline positivity rate at the time. That's how come we understood, for example, the percentages of people who were falling sick and therefore decide on isolation centers, profiling of people. Some could be treated at home, etc. So it's not about the numbers specifically. But yes, numbers do play a part at some point in time, and that's why we are making that strong argument that if you look at the trend of the numbers today, and if you look at the characteristics of this third rise, and the fact that still a lot of people are not doing what they have to do to help us bring it down, we are heading for some more restrictions if this trend continues.
Na eno ena woman so a woman efa ehwe nhwehwemu fa yenyuma ehwo so ede ensem ababeto eja na ensem a woman ede ato eja no ena omo echirim se wohwe se de enoma esi ekwa enie Ghana eni wiase afa na nyina enoma pi ena yetimi elusu ohonoma enya asem ketwa kra womo echirim se COVID-19 ebaye no ama enoma ato apen papa ya chesenya asem ketwa kra na eno ena Oxfam jumedie aye hwehwemu echirim se ahochira ebeba no enye ahochira ketwa kra wo COVID-19 eso na eno ena omode sa statistics yi ebetu edwa no yenso yene mpanimfo bia wo so eka bia ewom edi enkomo head ede ema industrial statistical sanso ena IBS national coordinator yera Anthony Kakra yene no bonkomo echirem se no kre se COVID-19 no ede ahochire abawiase afa na nyina so Ghana yenso yeka ehon bie na no ena ogitum se ane yam papa ahochire ede aba Ghana fo so no enye asem keto akra yentie yera kraka
what I'm saying, because our recent surveys on the impact of COVID on Ghana's economy, and considering, for instance, businesses, we did several surveys on the impact of the COVID on businesses and households, and also on some other areas. So now, we noticed that more 46,000 businesses were 85,000 were closed down. Now, after lockdown, when we're still in COVID, and by September, we also noticed that these numbers have reduced. The number of closed down businesses has reduced by half, about 46,000. And so clearly, when businesses are closed down and they would have to find alternative ways of survival, what they do is that to reduce employment, they hire people, they fire people, they sack people, and reduce labor wages and all that. And so, in the midst of COVID, you can see clearly that as businesses suffer, for instance, and they transfer that impact onto labor, which is workers working for businesses, which means that they reduce wages and all that. And so certainly, people's income will go down, and that would impact on poverty. And so poverty is clearly most likely to go up if the pandemic persists as it is, because you can even see from the overall production, I'm talking about the GDP, as you heard the Minister of Finance talking about several times, and also from our estimation that yes, we are in a recession as growth was declining in the quarter to quarter. And so clearly, general output levels will go down. Now, general output levels go down, then people's income levels will go down, and poverty will rise, because then they cannot afford to maintain their welfare levels at the level that they used to before COVID. So top levels will become worse.
Now sanso kyerɛ mu sɛ wohwɛ last year lockdown a yɛkɔɔ mu na Kumasi ne nkranko ano shops a yɛtutu mu anaasɛ collapse yɛ no ɛsom bɛɛ sɛ 85,000 businesses ɛna ɛtumi collapse yɛ ɛwɔ lockdown ɛbaa 2020 no emu na ɔsɛ sɛ COVID-19 sɛ yɛ amoa na yɛ ni protocols no so na kyerɛ sɛ aban ɛsaa de credo ɛtum sɛ panyin ne yɛka yɛgu dɛm a ɛne enyuma ɛbɛsɛ gu no ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa enyuma pii na ɛntumi ɛnsɔre ɛbɛma hia ɛtumi aba ɔmɛm ha papaapa.
There has to be a balance. That's what they said. At what point do we bring the balance? We bring on the balance. The issue is, to what extent is this pandemic going to affect people's lives? And as I have said several times, we need to protect lives first before livelihoods. Now, if many people are going to die, and we have this, then poverty means nothing because we will not even live to be able to poor. And so we need to look at the balance and see if the measures government is putting in place to curb the pandemic is not going to work. Then the lockdown will be a necessary evil. Let me put it that way. Because if government is trying to put in measures to enforce the wearing of nose masks and washing of hands and all that, and it's not working, and probably if the government have to put in harder measures in terms of a lockdown, which will be able to curtail the pandemic from spreading further, because as I said earlier, you need to still live, you need to survive, you need to become poor. And what's the point in not living, not being able to be alive? If you're not alive, then with the poverty that you're talking about will not even can come to pass in the first place for the individual. So there should be a balance. And so I think the advice from the Ghana Medical Association and the rest should form the basis. Looking at the pace at which this pandemic is spreading, can we contain it with the measures that are put in place? Okay. If not, there has to be a harder measure which will be able to protect lives. Yes, the economy will suffer. I mean, how Europe and the rest are doing. They are trying to put a lot of the measures in place, but the UK and the rest are locking down. And so if you have to lock down for a time and people go hungry for some time, then the pandemic will be able to leave us for us to be free. Then we can come back and work hard and we'll survive. And of course, poverty can come and go, so we'll survive it. If, as you said, if the pace at which the pandemic is to spread, the government decides to lock down, then of course, as I said, I mean, looking down in Accra, as we have in our data, in May, June, across about 85,000 businesses to shut down, to close. And some of them couldn't survive after the closure. Some, as we speak, by September, about 70,000 were still permanently closed. What it means is that all workers for these businesses will be out of business and they will have to find other alternative livelihood sources. And so, when there's a lockdown, businesses will shut down. When businesses shut down, people lose their income, will be fired, and what happens is that the government may have to come in. Government may have to find ways of mitigating these pressures that businesses are not able to contain as a result of lockdown. It could be as a result of trying to, as we saw earlier, maybe trying to subsidize the utilities which are really affected by trying to take care of the government taking that burden. Government had a program of storing food, and if that program still exists, then probably women could find a way of sharing food. I mean, not cooked food, but cooked food so that people can that keep for some 3 or 4 days or 1 week. And so government may have to find a way of trying to mitigate these hardships that the lockdown will bring onto the households by either giving them some money. And then we go the issue about getting the right database of every Ghanaian to know where and who they are for us to trace them and give them money, as the European countries are doing and the US and Asian countries are doing. We do not have that database, very database on every individual, and we are working towards that goal, but we are not there yet. If we had a database, then we can do a targeted policy implementation where they will target those that are hardly hit by the lockdown and probably give them some stipend to keep them afloat. But be that as it may, I mean, if lockdown is evident for us to be alive, then so shall be, so that we'll be able to stay alive and then suffer the poverty issues and then come back and pick up and then probably gain our welfare.
Openia, ye friend, Anthony Cracker, where your head at the Emma Industrial Statistical, Sanso, and IBES, national coordinator ena yete ne nka no na eye A24 radio trending news ene eguso ayede mamo ewo fidie yi eso yi obepie mu ewo Asante Mantemase ya Kumase Garden City School of Special Needs womonso ayenchecheye the 1 week esi wonom echechire nkora no sene womobe ya womonso ebetimi akeka womo na protocols ahodo no omo etimi ediso sene be ya COVID-19 intimi entretent na dai headmistress a wo school num ene teacher fo nyina eka womo eho echechire nsede womo nsese ya womo de egu akwan mu ehwese COVID-19 no special needs teacher womo Garden City School for the special needs no womo so ebetimi ayo womo chefa no mo di protocols no so
through repetition. And that's what we are going to do with the protocols. You need to always remind them to do what you want them to do. Spaced, well spaced. For the girls, we had a challenge because the boys were together. So we had to create a room and send all their clothes outside from the dormitories. So now we have big spaces for them in the dormitories, and the girls can also observe the social distancing. Now, when they come to the classrooms, the desks in our classrooms, we are allowed to put mats on the floor for some to sit on. So those who do not want to sit on chairs, or those that we think can't distance themselves enough, we put them on the mats. Because you'll be teaching and somebody will be sleeping.
Yei headmistress a wono so ewo school mu na ne tie ne nka ewo ehono na ukopie mu ewo Ogwa Eastern Mesemeka Central Region Ogwa omanhina wo ho enso esifom echiche PPs sanso bit say nose masks and afin so bit say sanitizers wo cheche de man for se ne be ya wo so ebedi protocols no so na COVID-19 and so intimi entretre yebusa no de entia na kwasi esi forma ono ankasa echiche PPs
of the dangers of the coronavirus, and people must be made aware that we can avoid the impact of this pandemic if we wear face masks, sanitizers, wash our hands under running water. And you can only let the people know by setting example. That is why we have been lucky this morning to have free face masks and sanitizers. And it's only proper that me, being the Omahin of this town, together with the regional commander, walk through the principal street of Cape Coast to deliver some of these products to the residents of Cape Coast, and at the same time educate them on the use of these, so that from tomorrow onwards they will continue to wear these protective gadgets to avoid any impact of the disease.
Na enye ononko police penia ono so wo Central Region na okan na ho a womo esi from etimikoche PPs ye kasachre ede ema omanfo a womo ewo Ogwa Central Region na afin so de tujwa se COVID-19 protocols no obobe force se omanfo ewo ho so ebedi so market queen a wono so ewo Ogwa enso ede tujwa echire mu ehye ninua ma no ma womo so edi edwa say womo any protocols no so no ene bebo am ye di yare so nkonim
donated the masks and the sanitizers, and we decided to share free of charge to teach and to sensitize members of the public so that they wear it and protect themselves, their loved ones, and all of us. And what you have done tomorrow, because that is our mandated task. At the same time, we also encourage members of the public, a lot more of them, to also continue to wear it. First of all, to know that it is in their own interest. The market queen of the... If it doesn't wear the nose mask, they have every right to arrest you. For last week, there were so many complaints that you were not informed and so forth and so on. But now that they have given you, you have have to wear it. So when they come and they see you not wearing it and they arrest you, I will not go there to plead for anybody. And I'm appealing to the market woman too, that everybody should wear his or her nose mask because it is good for your own health to protect you from the disease that is hanging around in the air. So
Yei eyen koma eno so ebepie mu ewo Eastern region the fact COVID-19 hye no ene de bi asomo no na ye to aso dia yanko ensema isi eneda yi ewo mrase bedwafie na eho ena Speaker of Parliament Yewra right Speaker Honorable Agban Bagbin wade eto edwa etirimu se ohwe se de normal esi ekona obehwe se mrase bedwafo a womo entimi akwankwahwe omo widiem anhwe se COVID-19 test no omo amono omo ehwe se nyame eya adoma enne enkusi wochina no no obia etimi akwakobo test no.
Reliably informed that a number of our members have not yet taken the opportunity to either do the screening or even to undergo a COVID-19 test. Honorable members, I will humbly urge that you all take this opportunity seriously and go through it by the end of today. The team is still at the Parliament Medical Center waiting for members to do so.
Yera Aban Babin wano ena waye Speaker of Parliament nenka ena yeti ye na ewosan komo bobo ensem also mbobo hono eye de Yera motiona Yera Mahama Yarga Boko West mrasebedwani wade kopiemo ewo Parliament sa yenhwe na afei kora womo ana yenuanom nkuma ne yema a womo ewo university first year no wom school fees aban absorb no Speaker etu ede akwa akose nyame eya adoma Thursday ena ye omo ebedi eho apobo ni nyina efa eyikesia nyame ya adoma ochina yebeye no efa kanema mpani John Jeremiah Rawlings na ye no ho enti ena speaker ejina so a sa motion watu ede akwa akose nyame ya adoma ya wada.
Got the sense from the leadership that because of the solemn nature of today, we should not debate the motion, but I may crave the indulgence of the House to read my ruling so that you can take it along. Tomorrow is the funeral, and we will be caught up at the Independence Square. This is also a very urgent matter, and our students who are our children, our guardians, will not be happy with us continuously adjourning the motion, but the situation to decide that we can't continue with the motion. So I want to plead with them to bear with us because a lot of work has been done on it. But just to read my ruling so that on Thursday when we come back, we just go straight to debate and move the consequential resolution on the matter.
Nano ena openi odi asemi kopiemo ewo mrasebedwafie Yewra Mahama Ayarga enso ekasai na uchirim sa asem no Thursday de na chese ahochire a ede eba nkrai so yi na chese enya asem ketwa ntinka nka wombetimi adwe abobo nsem no ho a enka ebeboa na so speaker ese asem no ode akwa Thursday ne de akwa Thursday.
Move the motion. Mr. Speaker, this motion has been withheld for a couple of sittings. You asked that I engage my colleagues on the other side who had issues with the rendition of the motion. We did discuss, and several amendments were made to the motion. And the current rendition I presume reflects both my own commitment and the views expressed by colleagues on the other side of the aisle. And so I stand ready to move the motion, but I've just got a signal from leadership, Mr. Speaker, that in view of the funeral and other considerations, they want to propose that we take the motion on Thursday. But, Mr. Speaker, you recall that this is an urgent motion. The students are struggling across the country to pay their fees. If we wait until Thursday, many more students will be adversely affected. And so I will urge that we proceed to consider the motions and take a decision, Mr. Speaker, whether voting for it or voting against it.
And some itimi see another year a warm rasibedwe fiebi and a yetra a day ama mono yura or say chairman Sambunsu one and majority leader what they are to just a woman majority no or my crado say woman so boamo a day a share sad debate no na another in so Supreme Court Honson Sam Corso Nina for 2020 election petition no and then a substantive case no or more a na eho and judges no a day ato petitioners name says Supreme Court eho ye niagro honum ye monkro ewo honum ye niagro kra and it is omo eba court honoma rules ewo honum no and I say ewo honum no ewo se womode enidie emano na ene day court ana ashe ede womasetena no akwakopi mu nyame yadoma yawada ena omobesa atena ensem no eso na eno ena omo epon ensem a esi court nyina no yabone bede summarize na ye twabi ede amamo.
My lord, in fact the application is actually intended to hold matters, that's our understanding, pending the... I beg your pardon, my lord. Well, I didn't...
The Supreme Court is a very busy place. The Supreme Court is not a forum for organized, rehearsed, and choreographed theatricals or melodrama. It's a place for real, hard, and serious legal work. It's not for flurry of literature, long prose, and rather dull English, devoid of any legal merit. I want to advise my colleagues on the other side that if it ain't broken, don't attempt to fix it. We are ready for them on Thursday.
The language that he employed this morning is unacceptable in describing the actions of petitioners' lawyers as theatricals, in describing us as persons who intend to be intransigent and disobedient to orders of the court. I am sure that Frank Davis knows, Mr. Frank Davis knows, that all the applications that we have brought are within the framework of the law. The court after
Yay, and Sambia, etimi esi work another Supreme Court. Nyami aduma Thursday, wamo tenasia. Nyambo echina mesemeka Thursday wamo etenasia. Yebe kobiano yedebeba besomo. Na kankweshe bisi wa wareware ama nipa mako edu ena ehwe wamo enkwa. Say ena witness ano mo eye witness ho wamo den sem no etu edwa.
And then they taken them away. We inside the garden, they taken away. Some collapsed. So you can't confirm that they collapsed or they died. But some died immediately here for me to see them.
Region, and I'm traveling to Tamale. That's the northern region. I'm having a case at the court, so I'm supposed to be in the court around 10 a.m. And as of now, an accident has occurred here. We are standing here. We have been standing here for about 30 minutes now. But others have been standing here for long. From Bolga, we're going to Tamale. We heard that there's an accident at the street over there. So we have been stuck here for almost 30 minutes now.
Yei eye enkwanhyia esi ye ewo wale ka efri kumase eko ware a bridge kese a ewo nasia ekokosha ase no ho eyewitness na yede amamo nipa mako edu na ahwere mo enkwame no kase ya posifo ma abonten emfa sembia metudwa ewo ehonom nanso wo ma no moteka ekosha bridge ya sei driver no chire mu se kettle ana se na ntwe bia obetwa mu na ko o saving a life a car no agifree ni still na agifree ni nsema ekokoshe bridge kese yi ase nanso o ma tika anum achire mu se driver ni no ada se hate wa bra na wada ena car yi agifree ni nsema ekokoshe bridge kese ase a enipa mako edu ena me no kasa yi a doctor for a mo bom pempese afoforo aka no mo beto mo no edi abetudwa se womo eho ato womo enum ewo wareware ayaresabia sanso enomde enum enso akwakopim ewo Tamale Teaching Hospital yenyina so nefa enedai trending news science aka no 24 radio ni nyina ensi nyame ya adom ochina de akamu bia no yesi nkonwa ewo fidie iso a yede beba besommo enedai enso Ghana fo nyina ni wiase afana nyina esu kai kanai mampeni John Jeremiah Rollins enti yede esi wonoma eyi no nyame ya adom ochina eba so dendende a enye asem keto akra enedai o mampeni dada kofo ekoi ekodi enkomo ana ekochia ebusuafo sanso ena Ghana mpenifo awdo pii so etimi ebo anan etimi ekoya womo ekochia ebusuafo ekohwe senie ensem no esitie ewo honum ene ye voices no ana fidie didi juma ewo hase no hayi pa anti yentimi ammo ene no bi antrem nyame ya adom ochina de akamu bi anso yede beba besomo na afi ye ne no yede bi aba besomo ewo efidie yi eso yede mase ama monitor adeshimidin ede edwe donko papa smiley ena keke no ma esi eni amote yenka ewo fidie yi eso etwano ewo modernghana.com Zeno Radio sanso ena tuning sa enso ena www.24radio Facebook na ya 24 radio/tv YouTube nso eye a24 TV nyame adom ochina ya kambia de beba besomo ewo afidie so good night
rock the house yo Joe D on the track this is the beat
Beverly, we ain't Shiraba. Beverly, we ain't Shiraba. Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar we ain't Shiraba. We ain't Shirabo. Baby can say we ain't Shiraba. On the water. Ebeneze ni awudi ya betu neni. Ebeneze ni awudi ya betu neni. We on yami titi crefwa mwanyami new. 7 times is the number of completion. Asieni say uhawi na benye ye jidi say abayama we on yami Beverly akusiye Beverly we ain't Shirabo wudo nyami calendar so nyami calendar eyo nyami calendar noa nyami calendar wudo nyami calendar so nyami calendar eyo nyami calendar noa nyami calendar Joseph no was 6 letter piece na the dikano ni PSA ni nianom I didn't got to pitch mu which is the second P ya tosu miensa Joseph kopie Potiphar fie afe and na Potiphar yire so Ama Joseph called prison. Ofri or shred I soon be assay. Ama Joseph copy Pharaoh and him. After finally, Joseph from Russia, you know, obey a prime minister. And see the old be around. See about tre now so rebeba. Praise. Osenka foka say bibiara one nimbre obiara one birthday awari semana aduma semana akwantu asemi si abotre no so umbre beba eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar so would you want some manua obekama so would you how ba obediama for some manu for how man in the GD so bekama for some manu for how man in the GD so bekama so would you want some manua or bekama so would you how ba yes obediama akosia Beverly we ain't shirabo Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar Wudo nyame calendar so nyame calendar eyo nyame calendar noa nyame calendar
na Yesu eho na mi nyame kwachi eho no tie mejo eho na mi nyama ya riso